can't call this man a Christian and then be comfortable with the fact that he's heading up the celebration.
So this is Christians being stupid. You know, there's a reason the book of Revelation was all written with symbolism. God did it on purpose that way. I do a video earlier about Hinduism and yes, my main point to that was who's in Trump's cabinet, because most of them are former Democrats or never Trumpers, and they're either Hindu and Catholic and Hinduism have some major similarities with idols in common. So it's more talking about those people surrounding Trump, okay? Not Hinduism, because as I said in that video, it's not, you don't throw them out. We're supposed to, I do not support Christian nationalism. So Trump doing this is actually, it's good that he's doing this. It is, because it's showing, no, we're still going to have religious liberty. There's nothing wrong with what he's doing, nothing. Look at it from what they used to say way back in the day. What would Jesus do? You might say he wouldn't be doing, no, that's exactly what he would do. Would be compassionate, be respectful, because God can reach anybody anywhere. So you get out of the Christian nationalist mindset, okay? Because that's not Christian. And then when it comes, because there's a bunch of people going down the wrong path with Revelations. Like, here, let me ask people this. Would you know who God was when he shows up? Again, all of Revelations is symbolic, so you have to look at it as God put it in symbols for a reason. Because would you be able to take those symbols and then apply them to real world? Because that's really, it's a test. So you have to erase, there's a reason Satan has pushed all the end time prophets. That Daniel and the third temple and all this stuff, did all this, because all of that is then for a way to get you to think that the true Almighty is actually that you end up coming to think is the Antichrist. You see that trap being laid? That's what's being laid. Because everybody thinks because it says in Revelations that all eyes will see him, that doesn't mean that all people will know that it's God. That's not what it means. It doesn't. It means all eyes will see him. But there's been this belief that everybody will know it's God because the clouds will break and a real trumpet will sound. And it's like, it's symbolism. You have to put this, how would those symbols apply to a realistic day? It's not supernatural. That's too obvious. That's not how God would do it anyway. This is why he had the last book of the Bible done in symbols. Because you were supposed to be going to him, not the churches, about what it all means. And I'm telling you, you got to take those symbols and you got to, put them into real world. Because most people would not realize who God is. Because number one, they want to follow stupid end time prophets that are just pushing Satan's agenda, which is all of those end time prophet stories about this is what will happen in the third temple and then Daniel and book of Daniel, blah, blah, blah. Nobody wanting to say that America was the Church of Philadelphia. Nope, nobody wanting to say that, even though the founders that came here knew it was. Wonder why they knew it. I don't know. You think maybe because they were being led by God, God let them know? I think so. But you're going to have a ton of people. Every single one of these ones that is either calling Trump an Antichrist or being critical of him because of this. They all have all these followers. They have all these views. Why? Because they're helping to lead the flock astray. Whether they mean to or not, they are. So, of course, the wicked one of this world will allow their videos to be seen. I'm telling you, you cannot look at Revelations as literally like it's literal, but it's symbolic. So you have to take this, you have to apply the symbols to what they would really be. That's how God would do it. It is. It's totally how God would do it. Because, it's, are you on your toes? Not just, waiting for some, some nonsense. A bunch of end time prophets told you that, just wanted to lead you astray at this time, but, realizing that you need to go to the true teacher to understand it. This is what Jesus would do. It is. He'd be respectful, especially in a country where God wanted us to have religious liberty. He did. Become Christian nationalism, first of all, is not Christian. It's going backwards. God raised us up to have religious liberties for a reason. Because we're strong enough in our Christian faith that there's no reason. Like, just because I call out the symbolism of the 7 heads to what's in Revelations doesn't mean that that God would come down and blow India off the map. Of course he wouldn't do that. I'm more pointing it out because of who's in Trump's cabinet, okay? Because I don't trust them. It's not because of India. God would have more respect for the Hindu religion than he would for the false, phony Christian ones that wrap themselves up in paganism and say, hey, we're Christian. I'm telling you, he would. Totally. Totally. What he hates most is the false prophets of Christianity, and we have so many of those that want to control people. He knows it. That's what he hates more than the other religions themselves. I'm telling you that right now. There's nothing wrong with this. This is good. This is being respectful, especially because I can imagine even with, even with Hindus that live in this country, to see these Christian nationalists, what Charlie Kirk was put. Yeah, this is all. It's not right. So this is good that Trump is doing this. It's showing we're not going to go down the road of Christian nationalism, because that's not what God wants. God wanted us to be an example for other, for other countries, see how you can live together with other people, and you don't have to be critical of them. Am I critical of their religion? I'm critical. It's more me being critical because the Catholic Church, which claims Christianity, that's more of what the disgrace is than Hinduism. I don't have anything against Hinduism. That's what they worship. That's what they worship. I'm only pointing to it because of, personally, I think all the religions have gotten it all wrong. I do. But I think to God, what's important to him is the ones, if it's truly somebody that practices Hinduism, but they're truly trying to find God, it's the heart. Because again, it's all about the heart. Okay? So he can reach anybody he wants. But what I think he doesn't like at all is the fake, phony, false churches. That's the biggest. Again, the Hinduism he'd have more respect for than the fake, phony, false Christian churches that are really pagan churches. So there's nothing wrong with what Trump's doing here, but this is how God will test people. Yeah, would you know who God is? Is God here already? I don't know. Maybe you should ask God.